Armio, my name is Jack Curry, your ASB treasurer.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Towner again, your activities director and leadership teacher.
These past few weeks we have been gearing up for our next year's ASB panel. Oh, hey Mr. Towner, can you tell me a little bit about the process?
Yeah, these 11 amazing candidates have been working really hard. I hope you guys have been watching their campaign videos on our Armio ASB Twitter account. And Jack, you're going to tell us a little more about what they've been working on, right?
Yeah, I've gotten to know all these candidates very well over my course at Armio. So let's hear from their speeches right now.
Be officers next year. Whether you're in leadership or not, I think everyone deserves to be informed of everything and to have a say. I value your opinions and suggestions, and I believe that you also have ideas to create a better atmosphere throughout the school. I think having a student relations or communications officer from each grade that works with representatives from outside leadership will help us gain more input as well as connect with the student body. I want to keep everyone in the loop. For events, I propose sending a Google form where outside and inside leadership can vote for the events that they want to see next year, as well as if they have any suggestions for new events. I'm sure we all believe that faculty members deserve to be appreciated. When choosing faculty friends, people usually pick the faculty members that they know best because they may be afraid to choose someone that they don't know. So we should create a blind dating profile to match students with faculty friends based on their availability as well as their common interests. This way, students can create a valuable one-on-one bond with a faculty member who they share interests with and get along with. Conversations won't be as awkward. To get to know more faculty, we can even switch friends second semester. Since there aren't going to be any more class meetings on Wednesdays, an idea I have is creating dual class officer ASB cabinet positions. This means an officer from each grade would have the same cabinet title. This gives officers something to do between homecoming and powder puff too. I know that there can be a lot on an ASB officer's plate, and I feel that if we're people to help planning the behind the scene or big picture scenes of the event with them, the committee heads would focus more on the day-to-day planning and execution during committee time. This also gives all grades an opportunity for growth without feeling they had a missed out opportunity. I think having tracks first semester and committee second helps us build strong relationships at first and then growth in the next. Mentorships can also be matched through a blind dating profile. We can better cater to how many mentees a mentor or mentee wants in their group, their availability, and also their interest. It's really important that mentees and mentors get along so that they could grow together. On Wednesdays, we can have class, committee, or mentorship building activities and lessons to better build bonds with each other. Some committees end early, and so for the last 10 minutes of committee time, officers can give mini leadership lessons of the day. Second semester, if we do choose to have committees, I know that mentorships will not always be together, so I feel that even once a week mentorship building activities can be really beneficial. Mentorships can be put into random groups, and we can have tasks or activities together to complete during second semester, as well as have an after-school event to grow closer together. Along with OTAS this year, I would like to give the mentorships that have the opportunity to have an impact project by either having a leadership lesson in front of the class or doing a school or community service project. We have the opportunity to create change in someone's life, and really, that's what leadership is really about, creating a change in someone's individual life. I really hope that we can create a change together to create a positive and energized environment. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Leadership has done a lot for me. They have helped me change as a person, and they also taught me a lot of valuable lessons. So in a way, this is how I can return the favor. In leadership, we do all sorts of crazy events. It's what we do. Our main focus is for the entire school to be a part of those events. We're always very enthusiastic, we're always very positive, and our events are always very ambitious. We have a lot of positives, but there are also a couple of negatives. One of those problems I want to talk about is our connection with students. With leadership, we always do events which are focused on connecting with others. We want everybody in the school to be a part of those events. But there's a small portion of students that don't feel like they take part of those events. A portion of those students that feel that they are not taking part, they're not being a part of anything. those students feel like they don't belong at Armio and therefore feel left alone. I know because I was one of those students. And maybe that might be like, whatever, those students, it's their decision. But sometimes a person just wants to feel like they're a part of something. That's why I was thinking we could hold an event in which the main focus was for everybody to participate in it. I was thinking we could name it the Welcome Back Leadership event, which would be an event in which we celebrate our return to school. And in that event we can have different games, we can have different activities to do, but the main focus is for everybody to participate in. For students old or new, everybody can be a part of that event. That way we can show people what everyday in Armio is like. That every day here in Armio we always have a lot of fun. We want to show people that they are not alone, that there's a place for them to be. We want to show them that they can be a part of something. We could also invite other people to join leadership, so that way we can grow and people can have a place where they feel like they belong. So that's what my idea is.
Hi everybody, my name is Flor Martinez and I hope you and your family are doing well during this time. So without further ado, I will try my best to keep it short and hopefully you'll stay to the end. So just to briefly tell you some things about me that will hopefully fulfill an ASB position would be that I have been in leadership since my freshman year. I have been a committee head for events. I have been a homecoming dance choreographer for a couple of years. And this year I was lucky enough to work alongside a current ASB officer. I'm also involved in cross country and track and field for the past 3 years. And I'm also a self-taught dancer, so you may have even seen me dance at Music Fest. Who knows? Firstly, I want to talk about advertisement. I think that we can create awareness boards and put them up all over the school, and we can even create them for teachers to put up in their rooms. And what they would have would be sporting events, library announcements, theater announcements, etc. Secondly, I want to talk about Music Fridays and lunchtime activities. They were not the main focus this year, and I would like to change that and hopefully bring them back because it's been a while since we had them, and I know a lot of people enjoyed them. We would bring them back, but with a little twist, and that would be that the classes would each have a chance to create their own playlist or event and showcase it. If we were to do this, the class participation would increase, our class bonding would be better, and it would also teach others how to run a smaller event. The next thing I want to talk about are mentorships and faculty friends. I feel that this year they didn't quite work so well together, and I think that had to do with the fact that our mentorships were a little bit too big, which then resulted in it being difficult to visit a faculty friend. So I would suggest going back to individual faculty friends and downsizing our mentorships to 2 to 3 mentees. With that being said, it would mean that the faculty would get visited a lot more, and every faculty member would have a greater chance of having a bond with the individual, and it would just make life easier for everybody. Having individual faculty friends can also bring us a chance to have new events or new smaller events that I've come up with that are called Miles for Smiles or door decorating, which could also definitely tie in with our Teacher Appreciation Week. Now, for the structural change that I have in mind for our program would be that I would like to stick to committees all year round rather than being in tracks the first semester and then switching off to committees in the second semester. The reason for that being is that I strongly believe that being in committees all year long will give everybody a chance to work with every single ASB officer. It would give everybody a chance to meet new people and create greater bonds with them. And it would give everybody the wide variety of all the different events that we have for them to work and grow in. In conclusion, I hope you all enjoyed my speech, and hopefully you vote for me to become one of your ASB officers for next year to hopefully make my vision come true. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you stay safe and you remember to wash your hands. The last thing I'll say is that life isn't measured by the amounts of breaths we take, but the moments that take our breaths away. I would really like it if I could make those breathtaking moments happen for you. So remember to vote for Flor, and here's to next year. Goodbye, everybody.
Hello everyone, it's Adriana and I hope you guys are all staying safe, being good, doing all that. To start off, I would like to talk about faculty friends. Faculty friends this year, I felt like in mentorships wasn't as good as when we would do them one-on-one. I feel like mentorship should go back to being one-on-one because it creates bigger connection between a student and a teacher. In groups, when we did them, I talked to maybe one teacher once and they probably forgot about me. You know, they have lots of students in their class and I just feel like it's better when we have them one-on-one. The connection is stronger, we get to see them more often, and I just think they should go back to one-on-one. Secondly, I would like to talk about lesson versus event planning. I like that this year's ASB officers tried to incorporate lessons into our leadership class. I know they didn't really get to make that many lessons because they were so caught up in all the events and all their work that they had to do, but that's where ASB commissioners, whatever we call them, they're gonna help us a lot because they'll take off a lot of work off of future ASB, and future ASB will be able to sit down and talk and create lessons. They can be small lessons, how to like go up to someone who's sitting alone, how to like, you know, reach out to someone, how to hang up a poster, anything small. It doesn't have to be too big, and I just think it's a really good idea so that we're not constantly only event planning. And lastly, I would like to talk about a new idea that I had. So this new idea is a recognition rally. Basically, a recognition rally is where we recognize students, athletes, people who achieve stuff in academics or in clubs, and we put on a recognition rally to recognize their achievements and make them feel appreciated. This is something that we don't have, and it's a new idea obviously, and hopefully we can bring it in. Towner had talked about class meetings dissolving, and he's gonna put classes in like groups, and there will be like group projects, like class projects, and this could easily be one of those class projects where they put together a recognition rally to make students other than leadership kids feel appreciated. And I think it's a really good idea, and hopefully we can bring it to leadership this year. That concludes my speech. If you guys have any questions on something I didn't touch on, feel free to ask, and I hope I have your vote.
Hey everyone, my name is Shyanne Stever, and I am here today to tell you why I believe I would be an amazing candidate for your Class of 2021 ASB panel. Over the years, I've seen the ups and downs in the program, and if I were able to address some of these issues or just adjust a few things, this is what I believe to be important. First, my opinion on tracks. My freshman year, we did tracks both semesters with the intent of switching mentors second semester. In my opinion, this doesn't really work out because you don't create that bond that you do with your first semester mentor as you do your second. So if we continue tracks first semester and committee second semester, it also leaves room to have those big events like homecoming, because with tracks you're not switching as much, leaving more time to bond and make our events better. While in second semester, when it's a little more dead, we can have more positions for committee heads and things like that. This then leads me to my next topic, which is mentorships. We all know that mentorships start to die off second semester, but this year I was blessed to have 5 wonderful mentees, 3 of which were freshmen who I had met at leadership orientation, and 2 were sophomores I had met from the previous year. We bonded at events like Trunk or Treat and Leadership Holiday, or even just coming to leadership in the morning and having conversations. As leaders, I believe that we easily make connections, and I think I really created connections with these girls. But when it came to second semester, we just didn't talk as much. We didn't have those mentorship activities that we had first semester. And I believe if we just add a few mentorship activities or make it a requirement where you have to do community service together, we could all get something from it. The mentors can learn about the mentees can learn from the mentors, and we can just create bonds that we really need in the leadership program to be able to put on these amazing events and make the school a better place. When it comes to my opinion on the faculty friend system that we created this year, I strongly believe that the thought was there that we could create more bonds between the mentees and mentors, but it didn't really hold people accountable. If somebody was busy or a few of them had sports, like somebody would have to cover for everybody else. I understand that there can be a different way to go about it and try to find a time. But for me and my mentorship, there was never really a time we could all go together. So I believe we should go back to the one-on-one system. It holds you more accountable, and you create that bond with the faculty. The last thing I would like to touch on is ASB training. We all know it kind of fell through the cracks a little bit this year, but I believe with this new cabinet idea, we can not only train the juniors, but we could train some underclassmen that show extreme potential. My plan is to let the students step up and lead my committee for a day, or we can rotate these students to the different ASB members so we can show what it takes to lead a committee, like the detailed planning, the communication. If something goes wrong, how can we fix it? These are some things that I would love to teach. Over the years, I've had amazing leaders like Kiana Sabugo, Tay Porter, and Mariah Rios, and many more that I've looked up to. People taught me to be a leader, you need to be able to see the good and the bad. How can you fix it? And if you can't, what can you do better next time? It's the drive and determination I have that makes me want to be the next person someone looks up to. So with that being said, I hope you vote me, Shyanne Stever, for your next ASB panel.
Hey guys, it's Adamar. I hope you and your families are doing good during this quarantine. I know it can be a little hard, especially if you don't have a routine like me. Anyway, instead of starting off with why I'm running, which you're probably wondering why I am, but I'll get to all that later. I wanted to first share my first favorite memory of this program. It was my first day at Armio, and I was so scared to literally even talk to anyone. I was afraid to even talk to the same people of my grade. I literally couldn't even function until a senior from that year came up to me and just started talking to me. He was showing a complete stranger kindness, which was, to me at that point, was crazy. It made me feel included, and it made me feel really welcomed. Everyone was so close, and everyone was making sure everyone felt safe and welcomed. It was a good feeling. It was a good connection. Now I feel like this year, we could have done a better job with connections, especially with the people on the outside. Just making events for people and making sure that they can get impacted by them is really important. And I care, and I know a lot of people care about all the opportunities we can make for other students, since leadership gives us a platform. We are able to do so much and have so much fun together, but we really have to focus on some stuff. We should always make sure everyone's involved, and whether we advertise for events or we run the actual events, we just need to make sure people are getting involved one way or the other. On the program note, I wanted to make a few changes on the way we advertise because it's really important, and also how mentorships work. Mentorships at the beginning were very fun. I love communicating and talking to all the people, and a lot of people were talking about how great mentorship were at the beginning, but it slowly started falling off with not a lot of things having to do with our mentorships, which really was sad to see a lot of the mentorships break apart because they didn't know why they were there. The camera cut, but past me was doing so good without the script. I'm just gonna continue. Regardless, I am running for that chance to not only be able to change the program, but change someone's life, like how mine was changed so long ago. Being able to repay that kindness that was once shown to me and all those years ago and set a trend to always repay that kindness is my one true goal, and one of the main reasons I am running for ASB. So that was my speech. Wow, you did it! 15 mental breakdowns later. Anyway, I hope you and your family and everyone in the program does well. I hope we're almost done with the quarantine. I don't know how this whole quarantine thing works, but I hope you guys all do well. And go check out the other people's speeches. They did really good. They did better than me. And, well, of course, I'm really bad at this. But hope you guys have a good one.
Good morning, my leadership fam. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Flor Gonzalez, and throughout the past 2 years that I've been in leadership, I have the opportunity to work with great leaders and amazing people. I've held several committee head positions, and I've gained some of the experience needed to get to this point. I would like to start talking about my ideas and plans for next year to make leadership an even more enjoyable experience for everyone. The first topic I would like to talk about are committees and track. After reviewing pros and cons for each one of them, I personally have to say that I like them both, which is why I would like to continue having the first semester with tracks and the second semester with committees. This way we're going to be able to experience and enjoy the best out of both processes. Regarding the events that we currently have, I would like to keep in on more events like silent disco, night rally, community holiday, and events that involve our community. I want events that are interesting to our school population. I want more dances. We could have 2 night rallies per year. I would definitely like to earn more bilingual announcements as well for all of them, since a big portion of this population has Spanish as their only language, and we should be able to reach as many people as we can to be more inclusive. Another point is that instead of having a whole committee for mentorship games, I propose to have games every week. Let's bring Fun Fridays again. I want mentorship activities this time. We could do all kinds of insightful, creative, and fun activities together as a mentorship. One of my main ideas that I really want to do is contribute to the great legacy past ASBs have left us. And I want to do this by creating a committee that works in the Escape for Change movie night and in the International Escape for Change date as well. Since my goals are reaching a bigger scale and promoting our amazing leadership program to the whole community, I couldn't think of a better event to start with. Talking about events leads me to my next topic, lessons versus event planning. We all know leadership students have that reputation of only being event planners, but we also know that there's so much more than that. We are more than that. This year with the slogan EPIC, we've made reflections and connections more on a personal level. And I think it's awesome because we can apply it to our events and realize later on that we can also gain personal growth. I would definitely like to continue these activities, and not only that, but communicate our slogan to the entire school. However, I think that actually learning about how to plan events, being a leader, time management and all that is just as important as learning how to be human and what to do when I have lack of motivation. How do I deal with my stress and emotions? I totally believe that we could do both. I propose more individual and group lessons, 2 of each at least 1 time every 2 weeks. We could split the time, or maybe we can apply them into our committee time, whatever works best. Lastly, we have to talk about faculty friends. I propose to go back and keep 1 per student. It's just easier if we all take care of our own faculty friend. It leads to more organization and a better connection with them. This being said, I believe that together we can equally broaden and make stronger not only the leadership program, but the rest of Army as well. I would never be able to thank you all enough for making the leadership program the crazy, amazing, and generally good place it is, the family that I love to be part of, and the one that I'm going to contribute the best that I can with my resources and abilities if you choose me as your ASB officer for next year. Thank you and stay safe.
Hi guys, my name is Pria Shabazz and I'm running for ASB. So the reason I am running is because once I transferred over to Armio and I joined leadership, I didn't realize it, but those leadership events, they were some of the best moments of my life, and I want other Armio students to be able to feel the same way that I did. So for events, I think we can improve on A-Team. I think we should give support to a variety of sports at Armio. By that I mean, let's say A-Team is your track, then you'd be required to go to 1 home game for all the sports, unless you have a valid reason that you can't go. That's totally fine. But I just think it'd be good to, spread the love and support all the sports. Another event I was thinking of would be a Halloween event during October. So it could be like Fright Fest related, like where we decorate an area at Armio and then have games everywhere, or we could do a Halloween movie night on the field, and students could bring blankets and we'd serve them popcorn and stuff like that, and of course you could dress up. Another event would be Super Bowl party. We could get, this is all ideas of course, but we could get access to the gym and we could live broadcast the game, and it could be like a potluck. Students could bring food and stuff like that. For faculty friends, I think instead of doing mentorships, we should do teams. And I think that would be good because with mentorships, sometimes the pressure is on one person, and doing teams, one person won't be stressed out trying to buy gifts and make posters and stuff like that. So yeah. For committees and tracks, I think we can keep committees and tracks the way they were this year. I think it was beneficial for freshmen and new students coming in. As a new student, for me, joining leadership last year and being able to choose my committee really helped me a lot to step out of my comfort zone and branch out and create new relationships and stuff. All in all, I know high school can be stressful and lonely, but I want leadership to put on memorable events that students can look back on and think of when they remember high school. I know for myself, I remember truly being happy going to this past year's leadership events, and I want ARMIO students to be able to feel the same way that I did.
Hello, my name is Naylea Navarro, and I'm one of your ASB candidates. So, I only have 3 minutes, so I'm just going to jump in. I've been in leadership for 2 years. My freshman year, I wasn't in leadership, and I missed out on a lot of events. Because mostly, I didn't really know about them enough to want to go. So, I think my biggest change I want to see on the campus is getting everyone involved and just improving overall event attendance. We can do this through better advertising. Lunchtime events, I think, really are useful because everyone's already there. They really have nothing better to do at lunch. So, for example, if you're advertising Battle of Armio, you can have a lunchtime event where you do one of the games you would have at BOA, and the winner gets their whole team's t-shirts paid for. It's something we can really afford. It's not that expensive, and you automatically have a whole new team, and it gets people talking, you have a whole crowd. You can make balloons or bracelets with our event on it. We have so much power over our own high school experience, so why not make it what we want? We could have a week full of lunchtime events, like some good ones are, what would you do for Klondike? That people just do ridiculous things for an ice cream bar, or we can do eating contests. We can, a few years ago there was like a Slurpee chugging contest. Stuff like that could really be fun events. As for leadership itself, our tracks spend way too much time doing nothing. I don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning and just do nothing. I want to bring Friday Fun Days back. Not every Friday, but yeah. We work hard all week, and I think we deserve to play hard. So why do we sit on our phones when we can be bonding with our entire class, meeting new people, releasing stress from the event planning? It'll boost creativity and drive. As another way to fill our mornings, I would like to see more in-class lessons. Yeah, like making a poster. It's helpful, but it's not leadership. In-class lessons can be the difference between making a poster and knowing the difference between being kind and being nice. Faculty friends, I very strongly feel they should go, entirely. I know I'm not the only one who had a bad experience with faculty friends, and they have good intentions, but they just feel really forced, and it's not meaningful when you're doing it for a grade. So I think we should really focus all of that effort into Faculty Appreciation Week. Finally, I want to turn mentorships into groups instead. This will keep a strong connection between our under and upperclassmen, and it's really important to what we do, this relationship we have. And the groups could be made up of like 2 upperclassmen to 4 or 5 underclassmen. Then this lets the mentees learn from more than one person. And so we get some really cool activities with these groups. That is all the time I have. I hope you vote for me. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Alyza Thornson, and I'm running to be part of your 2020-2021 ASB panel. Since freshman year, I've known that I wanted to give back to this program and run for ASB, and I've been driven by other people like Kiana Sabugo, my freshman ASB officer, my mentors, Jay, Vivian, and especially Kritika. So I'd like to start my speech off with faculty friends. Faculty friends are such a great experience and a great thing we have implemented in our program. However, I don't think that putting it in groups was the best idea. It definitely took away from the authenticity of it and the genuine connection that you can get from it. So I think that we should revert back to the one-on-one faculty friends. And it also gives a person with that friend the more responsibility, as they can't rely on other group members to do it. It gives them something that they have to go out themselves and do. I still have the bond with my sophomore year faculty friend, and I want to be able for everyone to get that experience. Next, I want to touch on implementing something back into our program, which long-time returning leaderships will, you guys will recognize this, the 4 seasons of leadership, which are Shine, Start, Service, and Spirit. So these 4 seasons of leadership are basically like kind of categories that our events fall under. And the reason that I think it failed when we first had it was because we made it almost like a job. We had a paper you had to fill out, you had to have this many of each of those categories. I think that making it a little more informal and just stepping back and being able to implement leadership lessons with it, saying this is why we do this event, this is the effect it's going to create, this is how the event will carry with the student body, the community, and how it's going to make us grow as leaders, and in what areas are we going to grow in. The last thing that I want to touch on in my speech is about our events. And honestly, leadership, our leadership in particular, and compared to a lot of other schools, has very successful events, and we're great at planning them. But I think that we need to get more turnout from non-leadership students, which we hear every year. We need to go more for what our demographic will like to see. So there's an event like Coloring. I love Coloring. Like, it was a great event. It's positive and it's a lot of spirit. However, it's not something that our student body will be more likely to participate in. And it's something more that we can use as a leadership bonding activity, or we can grow off of it to adapt to it for our student body. But right now, it's just not something that they're likely to turn out for. Something like Night Rally, we know that's what our student body likes. So, and maybe we can even think about times. Like, we know that football season is more active than basketball season. Maybe moving Night Rally to football season will get a better turnout than we had this year. I also think that we should implement more serve events into our leadership, because it really gives us a chance to grow in the best way as leaders, giving back to the community.
Hello everyone, my name is Miggy Silva, and as you know, I'm running for ASB this year. I was in leadership for my freshman and sophomore year, being a class officer for both of those years. And now I'm returning to leadership next year, and to become hopefully one of the new ASB officers. And as the ASB officer, there are 2 main things that I would like to implement in leadership. The first one being is I want to bring back leadership lessons. It is a popular philosophy that leadership is more than a class full of event planners. We in the program are striving to become better leaders so that we are able to make a change, one that is big or small. And to prevent the leadership lessons from falling through the cracks like how I did this year, I plan on incorporating Towner's cabinet member idea, where there would be a specific cabinet member who would be in charge of carrying out and planning these leadership lessons, and that they would be willing to work with Mr. Towner and the rest of ASB. I plan on setting aside a specific day, maybe once every 2 weeks, for these leadership lessons, so that everyone in the leadership class will be able to participate in them. The second thing I want to address pertains to mentorships. In addition to keeping mentorships the same with 1 upperclassman to a number of lowerclassmen, I plan on implementing something new. And the idea of mentorships is something that is special to me, and I believe that the bond between mentor and mentee is something that needs to be cultivated within the leadership program. I liked how we did mentorship games when I was in the program, because I believe that brought me closer with my mentors, but I couldn't figure out a way to realistically re-implement it without taking too much time away from committee or track time that could be used for planning more important events like community holiday, especially since I was planning on bringing back leadership lessons. So as a solution, I came up with something called mentorship activities, or mentorship checklist, and it is basically a list of things that mentorships can do together on their spare time. And it would just be a fun extra optional thing that would be things like attend a leadership event together, or spend a lunch period together. And it would be small things too, like create a secret handshake, or share what your favorite hobby is to the group. And it would just be a fun thing that mentorships can do to become closer with each other, and to just have a checklist as a reference to what mentorships can do together. And to wrap up, I just want to briefly say something. Earlier in my speech, I mentioned that the bond between mentor and mentee was something that was very important to me, and that's because of the impact that my mentors left within me when I was in the program. Now I'm returning to leadership and running to become one of its leaders, to be someone who can make an impact within the program, like the ASB officers before myself. I know I wasn't in leadership this year, but you can bet that I will perform my responsibilities as an ASB officer, and you guys will be able to get to know me better as a person as well. Thanks, guys.
Wow, those are some amazing candidates.
Yeah, they've been working really hard. And again, guys, now it's up to you. Hopefully you guys watch those speeches, and there should be a Google form in your emails right now. Make your vote on your top 5 ASB officers, because these are going to be the students that are going to be making decisions next year.
So remember, it's up to you. We will be sending out the voting link in your student emails. And that's all for today, Armio.